This next story doesn't involve me directly, however I did witness this event, and unfortunately it happened to my friend, who was also the sommelier. As restaurant workers, we see customers from almost every single walk of life, from super elite rich to families of 12 trying to see how far they can split the breadbasket between every single member. And in this case, we have a couple who came from deep from the Louisiana deltas, but did not make any effort in trying to hide how hickness they really were. Although I will say, to the gentleman's credit, I do believe he's the only one who could have ever pulled off a gold polyester disco suit, bolo tie, mullet, and porn star mustache at the same time. As they sat down, the woman on this date, who looked like a more Rubenesque version of Drew Barrymore, said that this place was way too fancy and expensive for them. To which the gentleman replied, "Oh honey, nothing's too fancy for my sweetie since it's our anniversary." And then promptly said, "Boy, I hope they do have pork rinds here." As I'm hearing this, I'm trying to prepare Bananas Foster tableside for the table opposite of them, so I'm trying to keep my composure and not laugh. It's at this point in the story, it's when things start to turn very quickly. James, the house sommelier, approached the table and asked if they would like a bottle of wine. The gentleman looked at him and said, "What the hell are you?" James replied, "Oh, I'm the sommelier." And the gentleman replied, "What is that, some kind of queer waiter or something?" I could see it in James' eyes that he's just thinking, "Oh God, I gotta deal with you. Great." James clarified what a sommelier was to, well, at this point, let's just call him Disco for right now, and then asked Disco if he wanted a bottle of wine with dinner. Not wanting to look cheap, he said, "Of course, I can't wait to celebrate with my baby." To which James replied, "Oh, well, if you're celebrating, you should definitely have champagne instead of wine." Disco's eyes widened and said, "That's a great f***ing idea. You'll get us a bottle of your most expensive champagne." James agrees and brings back a bottle of 1992 Dom Perignon and pops it tableside. Now, unfortunately, Disco, and let's just call her Disquette, did not understand what James meant when he offered them if they wanted to sniff the cork. So with a loud cry of "Screw you, pervert!" and a sharp punch to James's right eye, it was rather clear that Disco completely misinterpreted what James was attempting to do. As James was on the floor trying to recover and recall what the hell had just happened to him, Disco went on a rather homophobic tirade on why he should have never visited Southern California, but he was promptly dragged out by his cheap coat and thrown out the doors, to where Disquette soon followed him. Poor James had to sit the rest of the night out. Luckily, the waiter started a little collection in the dining room and asked the diners if they could pitch in a few bucks for James, to which he got a whopping $419 tip in one night, to which the manager added a Saturday night off with pay.